everybody doing tonight? Alright. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but has anybody ever had somebody come up to them and basically want to just get frustration off their chest, and they feel like they would die if they never got it out, and they just feel like they had to come to you to basically just let loose some pain and just just feel better about themselves. So and with this poem that I'm about to speak, it's basically telling the story of a man that I had met at the time. I didn't know him. He just came up to me, just started talking to me, and you could just feel from the energy that he had that he just had to get that frustration out. He just had to get that frustration off of him, and I was the only person at the time that would basically help him out with that. So I didn't know him, but I just listened. So that's all he really wanted from me anyway. So basically, this poem is called Trouble Deception, No Longer Buried. Here lies the story of a man I met the other day. A man of courage, a man of wisdom, a man with a lot of patience. He was in a relationship with a woman he thought loved him for him, only to find out the minute he retired his uniform, she discarded his feelings and time he invested in her down the trash dispenser. They were married for 25 years and created a lot of good memories and one son together, so it's hard for anybody to just leave without saving something. He bought her a new car every year just to keep the price tag on her mind satisfied, elevated, and fully emotional. Her taste for fancy things became more prominent as the years passed, and her love for him took a back seat. The lavish lifestyle of her Nan's vast 3 mortgages and pricey sis stiletto she was constantly wearing on her feet. If he didn't give her everything she wanted, it would only create debates later and cause him to sleep on cold-only couches with Sports Center to keep him company throughout the night. She didn't care how far he went into debt, as long as he gave her everything she wanted, he had nothing to worry about. He often had to go on 6 to 9 month deployments just to keep up with her greed of material things. Who knew what his son was seeing mommy do when daddy wasn't around? All that time he spent fighting for his country, I guess he thought he should have used that same adrenaline to fight for his marriage, but unfortunately, he was never around. She eventually got fed up, but instead of her being woman enough at the time to tell him directly, she sent signals and spoke fluently in body language. They still made love to each other, but he quickly noticed the brick walls she to construct his foundation had graffiti marks on them. He asked her if she had any entertainment in his amusement park when he wasn't around, but she never answered. She only gave him blank stares. But him being nonchalant in his head, saying, I know my wife, she would never lie to me, but does he? Because him being there to quickly get to know the characteristics of her femininity, unfortunately, he was never there. He only knows how to do what he does best, and that's provide. What other choice did he have? Get out the military, settle for love, and live a struggling lifestyle? Let Cupid do his work and let love be at the forefront, but struggle financially, so therefore he really can't provide for his child. Be there to notice his son's first steps, but not being able to take his wife out on fancy dates because the numbers in his bank account didn't have any comma signs. Even though the last few years of his marriage, he's seen his wife start to slowly depart away from his ship, he still tried to hang on to her and make it work because she was all he knew. But what was once a dark secret that was hanging in his wife's closet started to burn from underneath until eventually she couldn't tame the fire no more. When he retired from the military, instead of a celebration not feeling emancipated, she UPS delivered a verbal package just for his ears to open. Then suddenly she said, we're getting a divorce, but you don't have to worry about doing any legwork and signing the papers authority forward your signature. Should this really be a surprise to him that the early stages of deception, when he used to kiss her in the morning and she used to wipe his kisses away in front of him because the bond she once felt for him when she first met him had already surpassed waves. Unfortunately, this is a true story, and it's sad this couple could not love each other to their dying grave. At the time this man was telling me this story, I was thinking in my head, although I feel sympathy for this man, I would be stupid if I didn't notice some of the signs she was sending. Then he quickly interrupted my thinking by saying, man, I just couldn't imagine my life without her. She complains all the time. I thought she would snap out of it. Yes, I did notice some of her signs, and yes, I did notice she was driving reckless. But I put my seatbelt on so I was safely equipped. But in retrospect, now that I look back on it, even though I was fully armored and well protected, that's not enough. The safety protocols that car manufacturers can put inside their vehicles that can ever prepare me enough to get me ready for that collision. Even though they're divorced now, he still sends her money each and every month every time he gets paid. He feels like he was a part of a plantation, but his time and his feelings was the only thing involved in the slave trade. He still waits for her voice to tingle his eardrum, and he waits for a familiar sound on the other side of his iPhone. It's sad this couple got lost out here in the wilderness with no GPS, so they are never able to reroute their ways back to the place they used to call home. It's insane this man had to go through this pain alone with no sympathy from the woman that he thought was his wife. Only to find out the reason that she was there all those years is for the finer things, but once he started struggling, she quickly departed and found another man that could keep up with her materialistic life. Hopefully you're listening to every word I'm speaking because this was a truthful story yet indeed. Malicious people like this should not exist and shouldn't have a place on God's great earth to plant negative seeds. I pray that your mindset opens up to this experience, because when this man told me this, it most definitely opened up my eyes. Hopefully he can find his happily ever after before it's too late, but after going through all this, could you blame him?